Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to another episode of Jacob Walks Over a Bridge. I'm Jacob. I'm currently walking over a bridge, and I'm here to investigate, or at least to see if I remember things correctly. I remember I walked over this bridge about, 10-11 months ago. Last August, back when I was trying to hit all the big bridges for the first time. That was one of the really long walks that I did last year, where on top of meeting someone further into New Jersey than I thought, maybe I was just tired and it seemed longer, but to kill time, to wait for that person to be done, to be ready to meet up, I ended up just walking the entire length of Manhattan, and then walked a little bit more around New Jersey than I thought, but it was a long day. But when I walked, I'm on the George Washington Bridge. I should have probably started with that. I'm walking from the Manhattan side to the New Jersey side. It's a beautiful sunny day. Perfect weather would probably be about 10 to 15 degrees cooler. I'm a sweaty mess right now. I also decided to wear an old light gray shirt, so the sweat is coming out. It's coming out pretty clearly. Can't hide that much, but still enjoying the day out. But as I was saying, when I walked over the George Washington Bridge last year, the thing that stuck with me most, it wasn't the beautiful view of the river, of the Palisades looming off in the distance on the Hudson River, but it was the anti-suicide plaques on the New Jersey side of the bridge that really stuck with me. And if memory serves me correctly, and I'm going to make sure I take a picture to make sure I don't forget, the language that they use, the font that they use for the language for the sign that says, life is worth living, call this number to, if you need help. That I remember it being written in Comic Sans, the most elegant of fonts, though many would disagree with that statement and would question the motives of anything, let alone a sign that's trying to get people to not jump. Why would that be written in Comic Sans? So I'm going to take a picture of that for posterity, but that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this walk, was to just double check, just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. I'm going to take out the camera now just to make sure it doesn't kick me out of the recording like it has in the past, because before I've been a dummy and had it on video, and the phone still is not advanced enough to recognize that, you could be taking a video and recording at the same time. It doesn't like that. So I'm trying to play nice with the phone, and I'm just looking at the view now. It's nice. This has probably been a great place to watch the fireworks last night. Gonna get to my camera to take another picture. Okay. I mean, I like Comic Sans. I think, and then the inventor of Comic Sans, I believe, wanted to create a font that was very easy to read. And I guess to that point, if you're looking for someone to notice it, they're definitely going to notice Comic Sans. It's, it doesn't blend into the background like Helvetica. You'll definitely notice it when you see it. And I forgot how on this bridge, not only do they have, to a point, like once you get closer to the center of the bridge. Oh, yep, there's a sign. I'm going to look for one that isn't covered up by the safety fence, but that looks like Comic Sans, or something that's very close to Comic Sans. But anyway, there is once upon a time when these bridges were all built and these pedestrian cyclist pathways were made without all of the restrictions they have now and the laws about how high fences could be. They had a, like maybe a 4.5-foot high metal fence. It's like it's not like a chain link fence, but like just a barrier. You can still get a good view of the city, of the, everything around the bridge. But definitely not high enough for current safety standards. So now, attached to metal poles at about maybe 20 feet apart, they've got chain link fence that's kind of just hanging about 2 feet off the ground, but going up at least like 9-10 feet. And then there's netting above the length or the width of the walking path. So you're gonna have a hard time if you want to jump. I mean, I guess if someone's really committed, they could do it, but it's not going to be easy. I made sure on this walk, before I got to the bridge, I made sure to stop at what is becoming quickly my favorite place to get garlic knots anywhere, especially Manhattan. The place is called George's. It's on 181st Street. It's about as far away as, I was about to say it's as far away from Little Italy as possible, but I guess it depends on which Little Italy you're talking about. And you could theoretically be very much further away from Little Italy than Washington Heights, but it's still a trek. But yeah, 181st Street, George's Pizza. The pizza is above average. It's not the best pizza you ever had, but it's good. But the garlic knots are where it shines. I originally found this the last time I came for this walk over this bridge, when I was looking to kill time, and I was Googling what's the best food to get in Washington Heights. That walk was the first time I'd ever ventured that far north of Manhattan. I was looking for some expert opinions on where to eat, and that was the place to go where I don't remember what website, it might have been like Eater, Yelp, I don't remember. But the article, probably not Yelp, it was an actual article. But anyway, it said that the best place to get garlic bread was George's, but I had garlic knots, which honestly is better. And what I like about their garlic knots is that they're knot shaped. When you order garlic knots from a pizza place, you have a few options. You're going to get something that's either just literally like a garlic bread. They have a giant sheet of, like almost like Hawaiian rolls or something like that, where they rip them off. They can be garlicky, they can be, they can have whatever taste. But my favorite type are the ones that are actually not shaped. The restaurant went through the effort of actually forming them into a shape. I don't know, I'm passing another sign here that's definitely Comic Sans, but still covered by the fencing. I'm going to give it one more, and if I see one more that's still covered by the fencing, I'm still going to take a picture of it through the fencing, because it's worth it, and I don't want to miss it. I don't have to walk back just to take a picture of a sign. But I would if I had to, but I'm not going to have to because I'm committed. And I guess I thought it was the New Jersey side that had these signs. I guess this is why it's good I'm coming back to confirm and to report back to you. But the sign seemed, unless the New Jersey side begins right when you hit water, which I don't believe. I think it's the middle of the river. That's just maybe a George Washington Bridge thing. Anyway, garlic knots. George's garlic knots they're a little bit oily, which is okay for a garlic knot. They have, let me get out the camera, wait for this guy on the skateboard. Okay. I took my picture. Maybe I'll find a better one down the road. Literally down the road. But George's garlic knots, again, a little bit oily. Lots of garlic flavor. Some other seasoning, maybe other herbs and spices. So there's definitely a little. They are definitely a little saltier And then your average garlic knot, which I think helps. This garlic, I mean, while it's a good spice, I think having a little bit of salt in there helps to bring out the garlic more, if that makes sense. Because salt, you could always tell if something's there. Garlic, while it's the best spice, that was the one spice the Spice Girls were missing if they really wanted to turn the corner to become the next best thing since sliced bread. But sometimes it hides itself in a way. Okay, now I'm taking a picture of this one because this is Comic Sans to the max. I'm waiting for likes to go through. The sign just says feeling hopeless question mark with just bold Comic Sans. I don't know. I really don't know what was going through their heads. There's a helicopter. I guess it's not as busy as I thought it would be. When I first was coming up onto the bridge, there were passed by a whole pack of bicyclists, which I guess got, because when you go onto the George Washington Bridge on the Manhattan side, you have to go this long, windy path just to get up to the bridge. And for bikes, it's difficult because they're very sharp turns that are difficult to maneuver on a bike, especially when you have to go around other people. So it's definitely a place where bikes can get bottlenecked. But passing that, I thought it was going to be way busier, but it's not. There's some wide open space here between me and everyone else, for the most part. Very few walkers I see, mostly cyclists. I've got no one really in front of me or behind me, which is nice. I don't have the bridge to myself necessarily, but I can talk without fear of people overhearing and thinking I'm talking about them, while I'm actually just talking to the world about other people I see. So yes, they would be right to be worried. But you should definitely all go up to George's Pizza in Washington Heights. They didn't pay me to do this, but it has the Jacob walks over a bridge seal of approval. And now on the New Jersey side of things, if I had the time and the energy, I would find the bubble tea place I was going to that first trip I went, where they had these really good slush iced tea, bubble teas. I've tried it before, and it's from other places, and it's hit or miss, but this place was delicious. And Rob, the guy I'm going to go see later, I'm actually walking to where he lives, down in Jersey City. But he met me up by Fort Lee to go to this bubble tea place, because he used to go there when he was in college. He knew what he was talking about when he said it was good. It was good. Maybe I'm just thirsty now because I'm a hot, sweaty mess, and any cool drink sounds refreshing at this point. I'll definitely make sure to stop for some water as soon as I get to the other side of the bridge and sign off with you guys, but I don't think I'm going to make it all the way up there again. I mean, maybe when I get to the other side I'll Google map it and see if it's worth it. Maybe I can make it work, because there's no good way to walk to Jersey City from Manhattan. They don't have a bridge south of this one on the Hudson River side that goes to New Jersey. You can go walk through the tunnel if you want to get arrested. They've got ferries, they got the path that makes it fairly convenient, but no good way to walk here, which is exactly why I wanted to do this. So I like doing things that really shouldn't be done, and instead of just taking, it could be less than an hour trip by train, I'm making this a 17-mile walk. Because I can. And that's why I do things sometimes, just because I can. I'm sure I've talked about this in previous episodes, and I haven't done enough of these in succession, or at least in close enough timing that I remember everything I talk about beforehand. So excuse me for that. I'm trying this summer to be more social, and that's also kind of running into recording time. for better or for worse. I guess for both. I guess for both, because it's weird being able to go out and do things. I'm making plans. My calendar, actually, I'm putting things in it. Meeting up with friends, going out on adventures. I'm planning vacations now. I'm going to Washington, D.C. Around Labor Day weekend. Y'all are going to meet one of my good friends and a great friend of the podcast, Alex Hoffman. We're going to have a good time. You'll hear from him, I'm sure. We'll find a good bridge in D.C. to walk and talk over. I'm going to be going probably back down to Atlanta a month after that. See some more friends. Just go to some Mets games. I'm not trying to necessarily, well, actually, I was trying to schedule these trips around Mets games just because it was something fun. I haven't been to a game still. I went to a Red Bulls game the other day, but that pales in comparison to the experience of being at a baseball game for a number of reasons. Still not necessarily a huge soccer fan. It was cool because that was the first live sporting event I've been to since the Pete Alonso breaking Aaron Judge's record game at Citi Field in 2019. If only I had known that was going to be my last game for a while, I would have, I don't know, maybe taken more pictures or something. It was fun. And the weird part about that Red Bulls game is that we've got our quote-unquote seats in the superfan section, where it's all standing room only and everyone was cheering and chanting and singing the whole time and not actually watching the game or paying attention to what was going on. Which is kind of sad, because you think that the super fans would be more into the action than most, or actually paying attention. You know, they would start up a chant. You know, they had some ones that they've done at every game. I imagine everyone knew the words. But when a player got hurt and some guy tried to stop him from singing, the guys were either too drunk, too into it, or I don't know. They were chanting at inappropriate times. Let's say that. So I was a little disappointed they weren't actually watching the game. But at least there are people there. It was like maybe 30% full, that stadium. It was still fun. I will get back to Citi Field at some point this year to see a Mets game. It's bound to happen. Sometime this summer I'll find the time. New York side and the Jersey side. But I'm definitely more than halfway across the bridge by now. If only the best part about living in New Jersey wasn't that you had a great view of Manhattan. I mean, the prices of real estate, relative to New York is much lower. But just a pain. It's not that much to do in New Jersey at least if you don't have a car, which I'm happy I don't. Rob tried to get me to move to New Jersey a little while ago, and the price of rent made it almost seem worth it. You can get a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to affording whatever they're selling. The trade-off is you're living in New Jersey. That's a fine state. I've been there several times. There's nice things to do. Nice. I just don't think it's necessarily worth it. Sometimes you pay the premium for a reason in the city. That's definitely, you're paying for the convenience of living in the city. Need to go get a helmet. I haven't rode a bike seriously in a very long time. I need to get a new helmet. I'd probably start out with a city bike membership just to get used to riding a bike in the city. I mean, I can imagine all I want. I don't know how it actually is, but I imagine it's definitely harder than riding in suburbia, where I have most of my riding on the road experience. I'll probably take it, start out slowly on the city bike, not go anywhere too far, too crazy. But who knows, maybe one day this is going to turn into Jacob Bikes over a bridge, and it's going to be like 2 minutes long each episode. It is pretty over here. We'll give it that. As you're approaching from the Manhattan side, you just see the Palisades, you see all the trees, everything's green. There's the park over here, the water. It's just, this is why I love bridges, because you just get such a nice views. The best places to ever get views are bridges and parking lots. Bridges, for obvious reasons, you have a very large, generally unobstructed view, not accounting the safety gates, fences, but for the most part you get an unobstructed view of whatever the bridge is crossing, and then similar concept for parking lots, where especially you go to a large, like a Walmart parking lot, like the Walmart in Fishkill, New York. Great views of the mountains. It's one of my favorite parking lots all time. One could have a favorite parking lot. It's just because you just get a nice view of everything. I mean, I slept alright last night. Oh. I just kept waking up a lot. Sleep comes and goes, as I imagined it was for a lot of people, but yeah, I'll go through a stretch where I sleep pretty soundly, maybe waking up only once in the middle of the night, sleeping soon, close to as soon as my head hits the pillow. Sometimes I get that lucky, and then there are other times where tossing and turning all night. And the neighbor I have doesn't necessarily help. Sharing a wall with their living room doesn't always lead to the best results, especially because they like to live from dusk till dawn. Sometimes. I mean, they've been better lately, but I don't know. I guess. And you'd think after doing such a long while, I'm going to do 17 plus miles today, you'd think that would knock me out, but oftentimes I sleep worse after doing these really long walks. Hopefully today will be an exception, but I have to imagine it's because blood pumping, the heart's been going for so long, adrenaline's pumping, just was, I got excited because I was on an adventure, seeing new places, doing new things, eating food. I have to imagine that has Alright, well, I am nearing the end of the road that exists. It was, as always, a pleasure to speak with you and to share my thoughts on garlic knots. I'd be happy to talk about garlic knots on every episode if I really could. But alas, this must come to an end soon. Don't know exactly when the next episode will be. Like I said, the social life coming back has kind of hindered my excessive walking. So I'll try. I really do enjoy these walks, trying to make sure that I get out and still do them. But not sure when the next one will be, but hopefully soon. I'm sure when I do it'll be a good time had by all. So on that note, as I am keen to do whenever I end this, I bid you good day and good night.